In our last market report, we had a pretty big drop off in the number of properties that sold in the previous month. But did that trend continue this month? We'll take a look at that coming up next. Hey, what's happening, friends? Here we are with the September market update. And the big headline last month was the big drop off in sales that we saw across the board on the Big Island. And so the thing I wanted to see this month was, did that trend continue into the following month, or was that kind of just a blip in the data and the market? And so looking at comparing, if we look at last month versus the month previous versus a year ago, it gives us kind of an idea of context. And so if we look at a year ago, there was 206 sales. Last month, there was 155. These are residential sales. And that bumped back up to 185 this past month. So there definitely was a recovery. And we'll look at that across the board in terms of all sale types, all property types in a second. And then of course, median price is always of interest, right? So median price this month was $495. Last month it was $495, exactly the same, but it was $483 a year ago. So median price continues to creep up. And so irregardless of what's going on in terms of the number of sales, the median price continues to just inch up a little bit or be pretty much stable. And then if we look at the condo market, same thing. We had a drop off last month, right? 47 versus 58 a year ago, but we're up to 51 sales this past month. And then if we look at median price, same thing, 625 median price, 625 median price last month, and that is up from the median price of 597 a year ago. So median price in the condo market also continues to creep up. So kind of shown as an aggregate in terms of a chart. This is what we look at in terms of sales. This is what I was talking about last month, is we had this big drop off down to 361 last month in terms of total number of sales across the island. That was up to 500. So we saw that bottom out and continue to kind of rise over the llast 6 months. And then we got all the way back up to 500, which is the highest number of sales that we've seen in the last 12 months, right? If we look back, it was 436 back in September of last year. So we had a big bump up in numbers and then a huge drop back in July down to 361. And then we jumped back up to 420 last month in August. So that trend did not continue. That could have been just a blip in the market and a slow, kind of summer market where people were distracted with their kids doing other things. I mean, there's all kinds of things factors that go into that, but it doesn't look like it was a trend. But an interesting piece of data that I've been looking at that I want to highlight this month is year-to-date numbers. And so year-to-date numbers gives us, what are the sales doing versus a year ago? And so if we look at that across the board, we've known that the number of sales that are happening this year are lower than they were in the previous 12 months. And so on the residential market, we're looking at a drop of 30% year-to-date right now, right? But that's interesting if we compare that to previous months in the year. And so it's pretty much the same this is the residential market down 30%, the condo market down 30%, and then the land market down 33%. But if we go back and we look at just 2 months ago, back in June, that number was almost 35% on the residential market. It was 33% in the condo market, and it was 37% in the land market. And then if we go back even further, go back one more quarter, back to March, it was almost 42% on the residential market, 40% in the condo market, and 43, almost 44% in the land market. So what this tells us is that the market is recovering, right? If we are tracking, although sales are down, they're getting closer to where they were as we get further into the year versus a year ago. And so the trend of a declining market in terms of activity is definitely not continuing. And as we've been talking about median price wise, median price continues to be stable or ticking up a little bit month after month versus a year ago. So the market continues to be strong. Inventory still is very, very low. And that's the thing we keep going back to right now. Actually, that's not the right month. If we go to this month, so this is a good example. So if we go back to March of last year, there was 1,893, almost 1,900 active listings on the market. If we go to the current market right now, we're at 1,794. So we are actually lower in terms of inventory right now than we were earlier in the year when market activity was slower. So market activity is picking up. Obviously, you would expect inventory to go down, but that low inventory number is what continues to keep the market stable and will for the foreseeable future, because we are not seeing a recovery in the number of properties that are on the market, and we're nowhere near the pre-COVID numbers of 3,500 to 4,000 is where that number kind of was stable for many, many years in that normal market. So lots of stuff going on, interesting trend change versus a year ago. But if you have any questions about this or want to dig a little bit deeper into your specific area of the island or neighborhood, we're happy to help you do that. And if you have any questions, you can always DM me or put it in the comments below or email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. Always appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next month. Aloha.